Hey YouTube, this is Down and Dirty Survival. I'm going to be doing a fairly brief video today on the Springfield XD9 Tactical. The tactical part only means it has a 5-inch barrel as opposed to the service model which has a 4-inch barrel, or the subcompact model that has a 3-inch barrel. So first we're going to jump into disassembly and reassembly, show you how easy that is, and then just go into some of the options that I've added to it. Here we see the left side of the gun where I've got a Surefire X200 added. You can also see the left side of the ambidextrous mag release, the slide catch in the top right hand corner, and the takedown lever up there in the center. And then if you notice in the bottom right, I've got a maglock magazine valve that I'll talk about later. There's a quick look at the right side of the gun where you can see the other side of the ambidextrous mag release, which is pretty useful, which I'll talk about later. Alright, so to disassemble, after making sure that the gun is unloaded and safe, first step is just to lock the slide to the rear. Once the slide is locked, you just flip that center takedown lever into the up position. Finally, just send the slide home, pull the trigger, and the slide, barrel, and the entire upper assembly will come right off the front. So here's the slide removed. You can see the recoil spring right there and a little bit of the barrel poking out. Next step is just push the back of the recoil spring with the guide rod right there, push it forward slightly and lift it out. Make sure you don't shoot it across the room. It's pretty easy to do that. And finally the barrel comes out of the slide. This is about as far as you should need to take it down for basic cleaning in the field. Anything more than that, you might want a gunsmith or some specialized tools. To reassemble, we basically just disassemble it backwards. Rebuild the slide the same way it came apart, put the slide back onto the frame, and lock the slide to the rear with the takedown lever still in the up position. Drop the takedown lever into the down position and then send the slide home. Let's jump a little bit into the accessories I've added to this gun so far. There's more coming. The first one is an extended funnel magwell by Maglock Technologies. This comes from the competitive world, so a lot of people will dog on it and say it's overkill for any sort of practical, tactical use. I heavily disagree. I think that we can learn a lot from the competitive world, and that the military and law enforcement communities have very much done so in the past. I mean, that's where red dot sights come from, for crying out loud. My opinion is that time between reloads is time spent where I do not have the drop on a target, or I'm not capable of immediately engaging a threat to myself. So I want to minimize that time as much as humanly possible. So this little extended magwell will not make me a better shooter, but it can help me be a little bit better if I train hard enough with it, which I absolutely do. You can see it's banged up there quite a bit. And I've gotten quite a bit faster at my speed reloads, which I consider an essential skill for handguns. One of the reasons I like this particular mag funnel so much is because it leaves the front of the magazine exposed. In the competitive world, this might not be necessary, but for those of you that know how to fix a double feed, when you lock and strip the magazine out, sometimes you need to be able to get a good grasp on it. And if it's completely covered by the magwell, you can't do that. Another one of my favorite accessories is a Surefire X200. I don't ever run a handgun, a practical handgun at least, without a flashlight on it. I highly recommend Surefire. They make absolutely fantastic products. I've used them and seen them used in some horrific conditions and treated like garbage overseas and all over the place, and they're just almost literally bulletproof, I think. This is an X200. It's an older model. They don't make it anymore, but it still works just fine. The batteries last forever. It's extremely bright. And that little lever, I don't know if you can see it there, but that little lever that's on each side of the back of the light, if you flick it up or down on either side, the light turns on, or you can briefly push the lever into the light for a momentary on, momentary off type setup. And for those of you that don't run lights on your handguns, that's fine. The reason that I do is not just because it's cool and looks really awesome on there, which it does, but it's because one of my worst nightmares is waking up at night and perceiving a threat and then grabbing my gun and having no way to determine whether or not that actually was a threat, and possibly pulling the trigger on someone that was innocent or otherwise. So I always run a light. Everything you do, you should be able to do at night. So here's pretty much the only real problem that I have with the XD, and something that I am looking to fix very, very soon, is the mag release. It's ambidextrous, which is a leg up on a lot of handguns out there, especially if you ever need to shoot on your support side. But the mag release button on this thing is so tiny that it can be difficult to hit under stress, and it can even wear your thumb out just practicing it. As you can see here, it's almost flush with the frame. So you either have to break your grip and cant the gun in your hand in order to properly reach it, or you just have to have mammoth hands. So there are a couple brands of extended buttons out there, so I'll be looking to pick one of those up very soon, and I'll update you guys when I do. And here's one of the last things that I've currently got on the gun. On the bottom of all my magazines, I put grip tape. If you've ever had to reload under stress, or while you're sweaty, or you've got blood or whatever on your hands, the gun can slip around a little bit. So I do anything I can to minimize that. Here on the back of the magazines, when I go to heel the mag in, my hand doesn't slip off, and it ensures that I get a good solid seat on the magazine every single time. Consistency is everything. It'll help mitigate failure to feed, failure to fire type stoppages. Something that I don't have in the gun right now that is related to this, but it is in the mail on its way, is a Hogue Hybrid, specifically made for the XD. I'm sure a lot of you have used the Hogue Handall. It's just a rubber slip-on sleeve that increases the surface area of the gun that your hand makes contact with, which is huge in reducing recoil. With a 9mm, I don't have a ton of recoil to control as it is, but if I can put 10 shots into a small group in the time that the bad guy can put 4 shots into the same group, that gives me the upper hand. I'm always looking for the upper hand. And then eventually I'll also be adding grip tapes onto key areas of the slide and the frame that my hand makes contact with. Again, anything I can do to control that recoil better. And last but not least, for what I'm going to be doing to this handgun, is adding night sights. I've been really torn. Do I go with the Trigicons? They have fantastic products, and I definitely have faith in them. But the one that I've been looking at, and I'm not going to buy until I actually try them out in the day and night, but they're True Glow TFOs. TFO stands for Tritium Fiber Optics. So you've got tritium, which provides its own illumination at night, and fiber optics that glow during the day, and are just easier for fast sight acquisition. So I'll be doing a review on all of that as soon as I get them in. And if you were wondering why I went with 9mm for a preparedness or raw type handgun, I'm doing an entire video on the ballistic efficiency versus price of 9mm and 45, and I will explain why exactly I went with 9mm. That about wraps it up for this time, so thanks for watching. Feel free to drop some comments in the comment box. I'm always open to advice on anything. Please check out some of my other videos, and if you like what you see, subscribe. And I will see you guys again soon. Stay classy, YouTube.